Entertainment news on the Black Information Network. Real Housewives of Atlanta fans are gearing up for the premiere of season 15. Bravo dropped a trailer, and it looks like the ladies are dealing with more drama than ever. The trailer starts off with the ladies in a calm and relaxed state while in what looks like a meditation session. Then the chaos starts as the rest of the clip shows the cast members arguing and almost coming to blows. We'll be following the revelation of new relationships as well as the painful ending of one with the announcement of a divorce. All of the previous cast members have returned, which includes Candy Burris, Kenya Moore, Drew Sidora, Sheree Whitfield, Marlo Hampton, and Sonia Richards-Ross. We also get some appearances from a few Housewives OGs, including Cynthia Bailey, Kim Zolciak Behrman, Lisa Wu, and Deshaun Snow, who was on the first season. They are all seen in the trailer as well. The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15 premieres on Sunday, May 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, only on Bravo. And some more news in the legal battle Young Thug is fighting in his home state of Georgia. Rapper YSN Lucci is also in jail right now being held on allegations of felony murder. Thug and Lucci are not friendly in any way, so prosecutors working on Young Thug's RICO case are now attempting to sway Lucci to testify against him. HotNewHipHop.com shared a court document that was posted online, allegedly the paperwork for Lucci confirming that he has refused to testify against Young Thug. The two rappers have been feuding for years, but in an Instagram post Lucci shared from jail, he seemingly addresses the paperwork saying, quote, "Even in an earthquake, we wouldn't break. We solid, free 650, end quote. Fans of Thug are saying his enemy is more solid than his own friend, rapper Gunna, who took a plea deal and was released from jail in December 2022. With the latest in entertainment at 17 and 47 minutes past each hour, I'm Bree Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
This is a BIN Tech Report. Reddit and Twitch are the latest social media companies to take action towards stopping the spread of threats and hate speech on their platforms. These moves follow related action taken by YouTube, Snapchat, and Twitter. Reddit, a social message board giant, has banned the subreddit group called The Donald for violating the platform's policy against targeting and harassing people with hate speech. The subreddit group was a popular source for some of the most viral videos. Harassment and hate speech, which have no place in the Reddit community. Twitch, the Amazon-owned live streaming platform, suspended President Trump's account for what it deemed hateful conduct, citing and removing videos of the president making denigrating remarks about Mexicans. This is Keon Williams on the Black Information Network.
Where Black news comes first.
Listen and stay in full Bay Area. BIN 910.
I'm Doug Davis.
And I'm Esther Dillard on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
And here are your top stories. Former President Donald Trump is being indicted, and a black prosecutor is leading the charge. Another black man is freed from prison for a crime he did not commit. And as we've been telling you, the New York Times is reporting former President Donald Trump is being indicted by a grand jury involving Black Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. Former President Trump has released a statement calling it election interference at the highest level in history. Son Eric referred to the indictment as third world prosecutorial misconduct. Adult film star Stormy Daniels is at the center of the New York hush money case, as she was paid to keep quiet about her alleged affair with Trump.
In Georgia, police, family, and friends of a 19-year-old recovering in a hospital ICU after being severely bullied are asking the question why.
It's just sad. Didn't have those kids. They get charged.
NBC News reports Glenn County, Georgia teenager Trenton Lercamp was unconscious when 3 teens dropped him off at a local ER. He was drenched in urine, defaced with spray paint, and had a deadly amount of alcohol and antidepressants in his system. Investigators believe they may have been the culprits. O'Neill Jackson III, black interim police chief for the Glenn County Police Department, made a desperate plea to the community.
I would ask that folks not be afraid to speak up.
Local police and now the FBI are investigating.
Nearly 2,000 high schools in Michigan will start teaching an AP course on African American history. The Black Information Network's Julius White has more.
PrinceMichigan.com reports the College Board gave the go-ahead for 20 schools to begin teaching the class this fall. Subject matters that were taken out, some say because of Governor Ron DeSantis' views on the course, will be optional. The majority of schools allowed to teach the course are in the urban areas of Detroit and Grand Rapids. I'm Julius White on the Black Information Network.
While California drought conditions continues to improve after heavy rains pounded the state. Spring is now in the air, along with pollen. Wherever you live, you may find trees, weeds, grasses, and flowers are already blooming, and that brings symptoms from allergies.
Anybody go on a rampage, and that's what causes allergies. Classic allergies are itchy, watery eyes, nasal congestion, maybe a scratchy throat.
That's Dr. Don Buckland, a preventative medicine doctor, who says keeping windows shut and using air conditioning in your house and car when the pollen count is high will help a lot. The pollen counts this year are expected to be high after rain soak sustained this winter.
And finally, black business owners who are looking for capital, BlackEnterprise.com reports that Hello Alice and the Global Entrepreneur Network are affording African American business owners up to $25,000 in grants. The funds are available for nonprofit and for-profit businesses. The last day to apply is April 21st. Good luck. I'm Doug Davis along with Esther Dillon on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
If 100,000 BIN listeners were able to advance their careers or succeed in a new one, it would be one step towards building a better future for all of us. To learn more about the 100,000 Careers Initiative, visit careerbuilder.com/BIN.
The source for Black News.
The Black Information
The Bay Area, BIN 910. Your money on the Black Information Network.
It's one of those things that are sad but true. Disagreements over money are among the top reasons for divorce. Also, young people going out into the world not financially literate is equally harmful. A new report says many parents grew up in a culture where discussing money was considered improper or off-putting. Black Enterprise says that kind of thinking does more harm than good. In that frame of mindset, some people left out discussions about money grew up without knowing better or how to make smart money decisions. This often results in personal financial insecurity, stress, and many long-term financial struggles. The report offers several tips for raising smart money kids. They include opening checking accounts for them at early ages. This is a great way to teach your kids the basics of managing money. Stop giving out allowances. Instead, have your kids earn money by doing extra work around the house. This can teach them the value of hard work and the connection between work and money. Be transparent about the cost of everything. When you go grocery shopping, talk about how much things cost and how much money you're spending. Entrepreneur.com says by openly discussing money with your kids, help them develop a healthy and responsible relationship with money. Money news at 24 and 54 minutes past each hour. I'm Julius White on the Black Information Network.
Black news all day, every day.
The power of information. Here is BIN 910.
I'm Esther Dillard.
And I'm Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
A Pennsylvania man is being accused of using racial slurs toward his neighbor. Ronald Barillo was taken into custody on charges of ethnic intimidation and stalking after he allegedly made monkey noises at his neighbor, an African-American woman. Investigators say Barillo also placed a cutout of an orangutan in his yard and faced it towards the victim's home.
In Atlanta, Georgia, neighbors at a DeKalb County apartment complex are on edge after two black children were shot around 2 in the morning while in their home. Atlanta News First reports police say 60-year-old Justin Smith was shot in the stomach and 7-year-old Mia Robinson was shot in the leg on March 29th. His next-door neighbor spoke to Atlanta News First.
I was woken about my sleep by gunshot. All I heard was, "What did you do? What did you do? We gotta get out of here. We gotta get out of here."
The children were rushed to the hospital and are recovering from their injuries. But because there are no arrests, neighbors are concerned, wanting more answers as to what happened.
In North Carolina, Davidson College is creating a memorial, sculpture, and plaza to honor enslaved Africans who built the college campus. This comes nearly 2 years after college president Carol Quillen acknowledged publicly in 2020 that the institution supported slavery during their first 30 years as a place of learning. From 1837 to 1865, Davidson College benefited from creativity, labor, and talent stolen from black people. WCNC in Charlotte reports the memorial will be designed by conceptual artist Hank Willis Thomas and architectural firm Perkins & Will.
And finally, one black woman named Christina Rice is trying to build an army of black women who lead in offering wellness retreats around the country. Rice told the Griot her mission grew out of her own wellness journey. Today, she's coaching women on how to host retreats and how to make them profitable with her company call, I'm Noir.
On social media, follow the BIN on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Black Information Network, and on Twitter at BlackInfoNet. I'm Esther Dillard, along with Doug Davis, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. Now here's Morgan Wood with the Washington Roundup. The House has approved the Republicans' energy package.
We made a commitment to America that we would lower your energy costs. That's exactly what this bill does.
Speaker Kevin McCarthy said it will lower energy costs for Americans while making the nation more energy independent.
We care not just about the American family, to let them have more cash in their own pocket, to lower the global emissions, and make the world safer.
The Lower Energy Costs Act passed in a 225-204 vote. The bill is aimed at increasing fossil fuel production and exports and domestic mining, as well as speeding up approval processes for energy and infrastructure projects. But the bill is likely to move any further, as Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said it would be dead on arrival in the upper chamber. President Biden threatened to veto the bill as it would repeal programs in the Inflation Reduction Act. That's your Washington Roundup. I'm Morgan Wood on the Black Information Network. Did you know 80% get genetically meaningful health info from their 23andMe health report? Think about that. 80%. Learning things like if you're likely to have a higher chance of developing type 2 diabetes. That's the kind of info that could put you in more control of your own health. And it's just sitting there in your DNA, waiting to give you something enlightening, something empowering, something that could change everything. Head to 23andMe.com and find out if you're part of the 80%. Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, it'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
The Bay Area's BIN 910 is powered in partnership with Direct Relief and Chevy. Thank you for partnering with a purpose on the Black Information Network.
Nicole Deal.
And I'm Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
A Tennessee community is celebrating the life and legacy of a black custodian said to be the first one shot in a Nashville school shooting earlier this week. Mike Hill worked for the Covenant School in Nashville, Tennessee for nearly 15 years, but he was gunned down this week in a senseless shooting that killed 6 people. The father of 7 is remembered by Pastor Jim Boston. Boston says it did not matter that Hill was black and he was white. He told CBS News they talked about faith and his love life, and he considered Mike a friend. In fact, he says, everybody loved Mike.
Long suspended Los Angeles, California councilman Mark Ridley Thomas is found guilty of 7 federal charges. That includes bribery, conspiracy, mail fraud, and wire fraud. It relates to his time on the LA County Board of Supervisors. He directed county money to the University of Southern California in exchange for plush gigs for his adult son. The jury asked the judge nearly a dozen questions as they struggled to decide if the veteran politician's actions were indeed illegal. It marks a spectacular fall from grace for one of the most successful black politicians in recent Los Angeles history.
The Virginia NAACP is concerned a new curfew bill may negatively impact black and brown communities. The law gives police chiefs the authority to set a curfew when there is an imminent threat of any civil commotion or disturbance in the nature of a riot. Robert Barnett, the African-American president of the Virginia NAACP, told ABC 8 the bill's language is too vague. He argues it puts people in a situation to be caught up in the criminal justice system and continues the pipeline to prison for African Americans or people of color.
Have you ever been driving and didn't hear the sirens of an emergency vehicle nearby? It happens more often than you'd think, leaving first responders to drive evasively and costing them precious minutes. But one fire department in Michigan is making changes to improve their response times and hopefully save lives.
It's just this little transponder It's going to go on our fire trucks, and when we're running lights and siren, it's going to be sending out a digital signal.
That signal will warn drivers through apps like Google Maps and Apple CarPlay that an emergency vehicle is approaching.
That is the voice of Kevin Hart in the movie Central Intelligence, but he recently stepped outside his comedic lane to help support a black-owned business in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Black Leaf Vegan was one of 50 U.S. businesses owned and operated by Black and Latinx entrepreneurs that recently received a $10,000 business grant from Hart and his partners. According to Fox 59 News, the plant-based restaurant owners had a history of cancer in their family. They started the business in hopes of taking control of their health. I'm Nicole Deal with Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
This is a BIN Tech Report. It's been 30 years since the World Wide Web arrived. And yes, internet use, broadband, and smartphone ownership have grown rapidly for nearly all Americans, even those who are not doing great financially. But the digital divide between lower and higher income Americans is still there. According to the Pew Research Center, 3 out of 10 adults making $30,000 a year don't own a smartphone. More than 4 out of 10 don't have broadband services or standard computer. And a majority of lower-income Americans do not own tablets. On the other hand, adults in households earning $100,000 or more a year have all of these. This also causes the homework gap, the gap between school-age children who have access to high-speed internet and those that don't. There are those that have pledged to bring high-speed internet to low-income homes, but it hasn't happened yet. I'm Keon Williams on the Black Information Network. Black journalism at work.
Because truth matters.
The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News. San Francisco's BIN 910. Veteran Black Congresswoman Barbara Lee just received a huge nod from a major political influencer. NBC Bay Area reports Silicon Valley Congressman Ro Khanna has officially endorsed Lee in her bid for the U.S. Senate. Here's Congresswoman Lee as she addressed supporters in Oakland during her campaign kickoff speech not long ago.
Only 2 black women have served in the United States Senate since 1789. So when someone tries to tell me that a black woman of my age, with all the experience I bring to the table, can't win a fight, I just smile to myself and I say, watch me.
In his official statement, Khanna wrote, quote, "I'm excited and proud to endorse my good friend Barbara Lee for U.S. Senate. Barbara is a progressive leader Californians need right now, and her solid record as one of Congress's most outspoken champions of justice speaks for itself." Rumors swirled around political circles in the Bay Area that Khanna may run for the seat. With all the talk surrounding San Francisco's proposal to put $5 million in reparations to black residents, the California State Reparations Task Force met up for a few days in Sacramento to finalize its recommendations to the state. The task force, however, will not submit suggestions on how much black California residents will get paid. Chairwoman Camilla Moore said that responsibility lies with state lawmakers. I spoke to Moore exclusively about it.
We were required to advise the state legislature on the methodology around compensation, which means identifying who should be eligible. We pretty much made the argument that there's state culpability, thus there needs to be compensation from the state, in total valued at over $800 million.
Moore said the advisory board also approved draft sections related to non-compensatory policy recommendations. The task force will meet again in May with the final meeting set for June 30th, one day before the deadline of July 1st. Another milestone as California bounces back from its driest 3 years ever. A new map update shows that more than half of the state is no longer in a drought thanks to heavy rain and historic snowfall. The number is now 45% considered abnormally dry. 7 days ago, it was just 51%. The change means the drought is officially over for the entire San Francisco Bay Area. A black woman who went through some pretty tough times is giving back to a women's shelter and sharing her story of pain and triumph to help others in similar circumstances. NBC Bay Area reports Lisa Mae Riley was a victim of domestic abuse, and after abusing drugs and alcohol to numb her pain, she eventually found herself homeless. After pulling herself out of poverty, she is now a peer counselor at Carmelita Wilson.
My mission in life is to now help other people that have gone where I've gone and been where I've been, and know that it's okay, that there is a different way.
She says she feels honored to do and does not regret one single part of her life's journey.